Okay, so today we are going to be looking at clauses and different sentence types. Before we can get onto the sentence types, it's really important first that we understand what a clause actually is. The easiest way to do that is to think of it as the base of a building or a set of building blocks. At its most basic level, a clause is just a group of words that contains a subject and a verb. A subject is the who or the what, and the verb is an action or a state. Okay, so in the example on the screen at the moment, the cat slept. The subject would be the cat, and the action is slept. So we know the cat's sleeping. So there are two main types of clauses that you need to know. First one being an independent clause. It's a strong, confident clause, essentially. It has a subject and a verb, and it expresses a complete thought. It can stand by itself as a complete sentence that makes sense. Okay, so the cat slept that we looked at before is an independent clause. It doesn't need any extra information to make it make sense. The other type of clause is a dependent clause. It also has a subject and a verb, but by itself it doesn't make sense. Okay, it's incomplete. It needs more information in order to turn itself into a complete sentence. Because the cat slept is not complete, we start with that because, so there needs to be more information and we're not given it. So the first type of sentence that we're going to look at is the simple sentence. All it is a single independent clause. It's short, it's punchy, and it's clear. Okay, the rain fell. We've got a subject, we've got a verb, and we've got a complete idea. Okay, we do not need anything else to it. So the second type of sentence that we're going to talk about is a compound sentence. We can think of it kind of like a partnership. It takes two independent clauses and it joins them together with a comma and a joining word. There is an acronym that you can use to help you to remember the different types of connecting words. Fanboys. So we've got for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Always put a comma before that conjunction though. So if you have a look at the example on the slide at the minute then, the rain fell and the streets got wet. The rain fell makes sense as a complete sentence, as does the streets got wet. Okay, if we wanted to, we could take out the and the comma and replace it with a full stop. So the third and final type of sentence that we're going to talk about today is the complex sentence. A complex sentence has an independent clause that's joined to a dependent clause. So if we have a look at the example on the screen, while the rain fell, I stayed inside. I stayed inside is the main part of the sentence. It makes sense completely by itself. If we wanted to, we could cut that out and have that as a single, simple sentence. But it's joined to while the rain fell. We can't do that with while the rain fell because it doesn't make sense by itself. We're expecting additional information and we get that with the I stayed inside. So it's really important for us to know the different types of sentences because when we're looking at different extracts, which we look at lots and lots of different extracts, it's really helpful to be able to identify how the writer's using different sentences to create effect. So if we're able to talk about the different sentence types that a writer uses to create effect, it's a structural technique. And it's a really easy one to be able to pick out if you're able to identify them. It's also really helpful for you when it comes to writing your question 7 or question 8 on papers 1 and 2. A complex sentence followed by a simple sentence can be really effective in your creative writing. If you are only writing using simple sentences or you are only writing using compound sentences, you are not demonstrating to the examiner that you can write for effect. So a really quick recap, a simple sentence consists of one independent clause, a compound sentence consists of two independent clauses, and a complex sentence consists of an independent clause and a dependent clause. So if you use these three different types, you're just making your writing more interesting for the reader, okay? And you're securing yourself extra marks. So the next time that you look at an extract in class, look at the different types of sentences that are being used, especially when it comes to that structure question, okay? It's a really easy thing to talk about as soon as you understand it. Now, how do I end it? If there are any other topics that you think it would be helpful to get a short video on, please let me know.